Does that look a little bit better if you're watching in the stream, Felonish? Is it Newclips?
Uh,
Actually, he just zoomed out on me. Yeah, does it look a
I'll
little
go
bit?
check it out.
Well, no, I'm just trying to see because I know I had it before where I had all my stuff on there. I want to have it separate tabbed over. That way it's a little bit easier for the viewers to see.
Stupid ads.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, yeah, that looks pretty good.
Yeah, a little cleaner. Like I said, another word. Holy crap, yeah.
Echo.
Yeah, you can go ahead and mute
Yeah,
that at least.
I'll go to Twitch most of the time.
Or close out Twitch ones, yeah. Either way.
My most of my sound comes through the speakers on the giant TV I use. I just have Discord set to go through my headset.
Like, I don't know why when you said most of my sound, the first thing out of my brain was most of my sound comes from out of my butt, but like it immediately went there. Like, I'm like, why didn't he say this? That was perfect.
Because Tori, you are you. That's why. That's exactly why your brain went there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay, I mean, I've heard of an echo chamber, but come on, guys. So dumb.
all right.
Anyway.
I have chosen this to be our marker as to where you guys are on the map at any given point in time.
That's magnificent.
So Satan horse or
Just okay. As a pro subscriber to Roll20, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of sets of tokens and shit that I get for free. Most of which I have not bothered to go through.
oh, there you go.
And there's some truly weird shit in there.
Now I want to buy it just so I can fuck around with the tokens.
Oh, there's some, yeah, no, there's some stuff. I mean,
oh, that's cool.
yeah, I mean they're good tokens. I just prefer the round tokens. It makes it easier to track.
Yeah.
When they've got a border, they don't disappear into the background as easily.
Yeah.
But there's some truly interesting.
It looks like it's humping something. Like, go back to it. Like, it looks like the red thing is humping the black thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's a
kinda.
cape.
Okay.
Oh, it's a cape.
It's a cape. Yeah, it's a cape.
Okay.
And there
I don't
go
think
all
I
our
know
Twitch
about
views
anybody
right
doing
there.
anything.
I know, right?
You're the only fucking weirdo that.
Oh wait,
that
this one's called Captain Lightning.
Oh, that's
What?
that's kind of yeah.
Precious.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways,
Like the Wally brain.
Right.
I swear to God, I thought this image is titled Dental Dan, which is not what I thought it was when I first looked at it.
Wait.
No.
I mean, yeah. Like, what part of it is dental? Like,
Does he just have really good teeth? Because they are. I mean, they look aight.
Ginger Snap.
Ginger Snap. Oh, she's cute.
well, that doesn't seem like a ginger snaps though. That seems more like
Hipster Lincoln.
Hell yeah!
Okay, I do like
yeah,
that.
that's a good one.
no.
Yeah.
Hipster Lincoln.
He's missing,
We are finding a reason to use that.
Look at that little
He's missing
fucking.
the
Look at
man
the
bun,
little
though.
ankle short.
I know, like his high waters and fucking slippers.
I know.
Are those
Little
Birkenstocks? Holy crap! Oh my god. But yeah, he is missing the man
He's
bun.
so sassy.
That's
It's
just
under his top hat. It's
It
under
is.
his top.
That's just okay. Sorry. We got distracted.
Isn't that like the motto of our entire stream?
Yeah.
Like, you act like this doesn't happen every fucking stream.
I mean,
Like,
let's just
like
see how inappropriately
So,
we can get distracted. That's like
like,
the motto.
like I feel
Um,
bad for Scott. I really do, because like imagine like he's got all these things in his head. It's like this is gonna be great, team, and then we start talking about like hipster Lincoln. Like,
honestly, honestly, I know this. I say this all the time, and I know it's a thing that a lot of people say and don't mean.
mm,
It really is just about fun.
yeah, yeah, of course.
Don't get me wrong. I have plenty of story to tell and plenty of things to do, but as long as everybody's having fun, I'll still have that story to tell next week.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I think what I know about you is that you were gonna write that story anyway.
Kinda, yeah. It was going to live in my head one way or the other. So,
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
uh, all right. So last we left, you guys were in Greenest. You had just come back from the cave of the cult of the dragon. You now have a cart with 3 black dragon eggs on it. Which is
All
going
right.
to be so interesting.
We finished leveling up.
Um,
Oh yeah.
so fucking interesting. Because, but the next goal on in your adventure was to meet up with. Oh,
Was that?
pardon me.
Yep. Meet up with the burp.
Oh, like why is there nothing in there? Because I searched in the wrong place. Was to head north to Elturel, this spot up here at the top of the map,
Hmm.
to meet up with Leosin Erlenthar and his partner, whose name is not on this piece of paper, because why wouldn't it be? Onthar Froome.
Almost forgot about Froome.
Yeah, Onthar Froome. So if we take, unless you guys have other business you'd like to continue with in Greenest,
There is only one thing that I need to do. Rippo is not a knowledgeable man or mighty dragon warrior.
Yeah, it's
He needs to find an intelligent man to find out how to best take care of his new child.
um,
The other two can be, you guys can do whatever you want with, but
I'm not
Rippo's hatching
babysitting.
one.
I think we
um,
need to keep all three of them.
make an investigation check. Because you
Oh,
guys had a night to kind of hang around Greenest before having to leave the next day.
Oh,
Scott,
shit.
this is the reason I need to find an intelligent man.
Oh no.
Oh,
Is this
God.
everybody or just him?
Well, he's the one looking. If somebody would like to aid him, I can give him
I'll
advantage.
help him. I'll help him.
Well, then make an
God.
investigation check with advantage.
This is still not good.
There's a two and
Here
a
we
one.
go.
Yeah. Wow. that's sad.
Ooh,
Bro.
ooh.
Just
And the-
Oh.
oh, they
Rip
get a
off.
2. That's amazing.
Oh, God.
I mean, did you find dirt at least or something? Like, imagine like there's like a this is like Ripple find investigators like
You
Ripple.
spend a couple of hours asking various individuals and digging around and trying to find anyone who might have any clue as to how to raise a dragon. And most of them look at you like you're an idiot because, well, that's how everybody looks at you.
That's a thing. Have you not seen the movies?
Oh, my
They're
God.
like, what's a movie?
But yeah, no, you are unable to find anyone in the town of Greenest that would have any knowledge whatsoever. Maybe in some of the larger towns to the north where you're inevitably heading anyways.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, then in that case, while we're traveling, he's gonna do his best to use his wisdom to at least he knows at least that they put them in that cave for a specific reason. So he's gonna try to replicate like that.
Are you going to
much as
ride
possible.
the entire way to El Terrell on an egg?
Yes.
I figured as much.
Do we have any like magic duct tape or something? I'm just tied to his back.
All right. Well, if no one else has any further things to deal with in Greenest, um, then we will.
Did we get any type of reward for going back and taking those things out?
You got everyone got you know horses and rides bought for
Oh
you.
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
cheapskates.
Well, but remember that we also got the pearls and the gemstones and
Yeah.
the ring that
Right,
I stole.
yeah, that you're still owing
Wow.
me half for. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So in that case, you guys set out. Would you prefer to go cross country or follow the roads? Most of you are. We're just going to say that there's enough people in the party relatively familiar with this area to know that overland travel isn't completely unsafe in this area of the world. So it shouldn't be a major issue if you guys want to head straight north, be about 200 miles. If, however, you guys decide to follow the trade route,
It was
of
almost
places you can stop along the way, and it ends up being almost 400 miles.
Uh, what do y'all think? I am. I don't know. I immediately think go faster, but then we're a lot of squish. I don't know if we can handle that too much.
Well, do we have any reason to stop in Burdusk or Scornabel, whatever?
Not unless you guys have a particular reason. There's
Yeah,
not a
not-
story driven reason to go there.
Then
Not that
in
I'm
that
aware.
case, I'd say let's just go straight there. And best case scenario, we run into some bullshit and we kill it, and then we get some stuff.
Just stay in front of me. Everything will be good.
Okay, so we're going straight there.
Yeah,
works for me.
sounds good to me.
All right.
All right. So you guys set up uh, moving along the track. 200 miles is going to take you about 6 days. Um, and thankfully, with all the recent activity and cultist activity, it seems that any local bandits are laying low, and any other wildlife. There's been enough people kind of moving through this area recently that um, other non-humanoid threats have kind of keeping a berth at the moment. When you've got an army of cultists marching around, it tends to disrupt the ecology.
Mm. So,
So you guys have a relatively quiet 6-day journey, um, making your way to El Terrell. Well, you have to probably detour a little bit as you get to the river.
Should I be looking at the dragon eggs as we go
Sure.
and just kind of checking on them to see how they do because we don't know shit. So
Uh, well, let's see. Make an Arcana check.
okay.
Oof. Fish for lunch.
ooh,
That's not a bad check. Okay, while you really don't know anything about dragon age eggs outside of random things you might have read or heard over the years, the eggs themselves seem to be relatively healthy. You're not there's no doesn't seem to be any danger, and even though Rippo is insistent upon sitting on the egg to keep it warm the whole way, the eggs themselves actually produce a fair amount of heat. Not like burning to the touch, but warmer than a normal human temperature would be.
Oh, cool. I'm gonna snuggle up next to him and keep warm.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
want to be hot, not past the hot.
as you guys make your way into El Terrell, which is a fairly large city compared to Greenest, which is really more of a thorp than anything else.
Mhm.
Um,
A thorn
the
inside.
yeah, it definitely seems to be set up as something of a stop along a trade route. There's a lot of merchants, and the river itself does see some brisk trade. Again, you guys would have had to maneuver around a little bit to find a bridge crossing. But there are a number of ships as you come within sight that you can see moving up and down the river. El Terrell does have a system of docks for river trade. And as you enter the city itself, it's fairly well ordered. There's a market square that has a lot of merchants selling wares that they don't really want to continue along. A number of um, trade caravans or carts are kind of parked up outside the city to keep everything neat. Um, the interesting part about El Terrell, and I forgot about this because I didn't read ahead as far as I should, or I didn't refresh my brain. As you guys came up on the city, about a day out from the city, you could see light in the distance. And for those of you that are local, you would know this already, but El Terrell is always lit by a brilliant magical light that actually hangs above it. It illuminates it day and night.
We're going to Vegas, baby.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Uh,
How much gold do I have?
how much gold? Yeah. Um, so there's a number of places. This would be a good area before you, if you want to. Again, you need to find Leosin Erlenthar and Ontharr Froom. Um, the but this is also a fairly eclectic merchant spot, so you could probably find somebody to take some of those gems and jewels and stuff if you would like to convert that to gold and split it up.
Okay. Um, do you guys? Did we decide if we wanted to? I know we have the gemstones and the pearls, and I kind of like hid the ring, right? But I'm not opposed to just converting all of it. Really.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me.
Money, yo.
Holy
Okay.
shit, there's handouts.
Yay.
Fucking hell, why did that is Leosin Erlenthar. I didn't even know the fucking handouts were
cool.
there.
There you go. He seems
Yeah.
irritated.
He's probably irritated because we didn't save him.
Oh, was he the one we killed? Or did what die?
You didn't kill him. You didn't kill him,
Yeah,
but you didn't manage to save him either.
Yeah, we got fireballed, so we weren't able to get him off the rack.
Oh, right, that guy. Yeah.
And then he got away anyways and came back and was like, hey, go back to the den of boom and find more out.
He
Alright,
that
so we each
bastard.
get 360 gold then, based
Okay.
on our last. Because the ring was 900, the pearls were 300, and each of the gemstones was 100, and there were 6. So we'll each get 360 gold.
And this might be a good spot. I don't know if anybody wants to, but to get a little bit of shopping done as well.
Yeah, I guess we could do that. Let me see here.
There's enough competition here that you can pretty much get things at basic market value.
I want to look for a bow, just in case.
Just a normal like bow.
I was just thinking about that. I'm not sure. Hold on, let me look.
I'm fairly certain you could use a short bow as a rogue.
Yeah. Oh, crossbow. Like, it doesn't say short bow necessarily, but
Does it say simple weapons?
it does.
I think a short bow is a simple weapon.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to say it's a simple weapon. Would there be any magic?
Maybe some. You might be able to find something here.
Would this be that roll thing again, or?
Yeah, I'd actually need to pop open. Give me just a second to pop open because this isn't my rules.
Yeah, no worries, no worries.
This is. I'm just gonna shit out of Zen. Xanathar has a very nice purchasing magic items, which I kind of wish I had known about before I made mine up.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's always like that always feels like that, especially anything with a good development. It's like, yeah, I want to make this, it's gonna work, and somebody else has made it, and they've made it better.
Kind of.
Yep, yep, yep.
What are you looking for? Anything specific,
I was looking
Tori?
either for a magic ring or a magic staff. If
Uh, that narrows it the fuck down. What would you like them to do?
let me pull the freaking thing again, because there's specific ones, right? I was looking for just one with like more power, but let's see.
I'm not sure that you. That's the other thing I'm not real fond of with these pre-built adventures is they don't have a ton of.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think D&D is designed around giving magic items to people before they've hit like fifth or sixth level.
That's why. That's why I was like, if we're gonna, that's why I asked. If not, that's not a huge deal. I was just kind of curious as hell.
Yeah, yeah. Fifth edition is kind of
Yeah.
stingy with that shit.
If you want to call
Yeah,
them, no, then
I'm
that's fine.
curious too.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
We'll say that in general, in this area, unless you want to spend a few days trying to look, you could probably find most common magic items as far as rarity goes. Maybe a couple of uncommons. If you've got something specific, we can give it a shot and see.
Let me see. Was that in the player's handbook or the dungeon masters with all the list of items?
DMGs. But potions you can always buy, and they're 50 gold a pop.
Right. Yeah. No.
Another thing you can do, Tori, if you go to if you have your dude in D&D Beyond, there's a manage equipment option that will let you choose common and filter by common, magical, and then you can filter by armor, potion, ring, rod, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I found a short bow. It is a simple weapon, and it was 25 gold pieces according to the internet.
Yeah, just a short bow.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you'd like to pick up a short bow, you can.
Okay, cool.
Again, I'm not an ammunition person, so you don't have to necessarily worry about that. I'm a firm believer that bows in D&D work like they do in Diablo. You just always seem to have ammo.
What about I guess we should probably get some health potions then too.
Yeah, you can find those readily for about 50 a pop.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll just stick with pots then, I guess.
Okay.
I think I want to buy 5 health potions.
Good lord.
Yep.
Wait, how much money did we get for turning in all that crap?
360.
360. Did I add that already? Do not think I did. 360 gold, right?
Mhm.
A pop or total?
A pop.
Cool.
Actually, 5 is too many. I think I'm gonna just buy 2.
I've still got 2 pots. I'm trying to remember where that freaking.
Everybody's bookwork caught up?
I think so. I added my things. No, I think I'm good.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm good. How about you, Drake?
I will be here shortly. Just here in about 30 seconds.
Kind of want to go steal some things.
You can certainly
I have
try.
a +7 sleight of hand. I mean, can I see if I can? Oh God, I'm gonna get myself in trouble. No, I'm not doing it. Okay, hold on, wait. Let me see. Do I have anything? Oh no, I know what I want. I want 10 gold pieces worth of charcoal, incense, and herbs.
Oh yeah, you could easily find that.
Okay, good.
Spread out
Because
amongst the.
I want to go find a brass brazier somewhere in town and cast find familiar.
Okay. What kind of
Because
familiar do you want?
I want a tamarind.
Oh, the little
This
monkey thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His name is Mufasa.
Oh, really? There's no.
Mufasa. Say it again. Ooh. Looks like most of the videos are live now. There's only about 2 or 3 that get to upload.
That's a big one. I'll have to find stats for him later, but for now, you
Okay.
have a monkey.
You know what? Actually, let me look because I think that it tells what the stats are in the thing and that it's not specific to the animal. But let me check and make sure because
It's entirely possible you're correct, but I can't remember.
I'm gonna
Find
check.
familiar's been a while.
Okay, I'll pass for the time being. There's a particular item I'm looking for, but I'm having trouble finding info on it.
Do you know what it is off the top of your head? I might be able to dig it up real fast. Or do you know
Well,
what it's?
I'm looking through various staffs and wands.
Oh, okay. Looking for a specific thing. Yeah.
So if it was actually balanced right and like sounded really good, like the name of this weapon is amazing. But yeah, no, it is definitely not a common. But it's called the ankle cleaver. It's a great sword.
That
Fucking
does
perfect
sound
for Rippo.
awesome, I'm telling you.
Yes, it is.
But like it's like when using this cleaver, you have a +5 bonus when targeting a creature's ankles or lower legs. Like
Oh,
that is
Jesus
not
Christ.
common.
No.
No, that's not 5th edition.
Also,
Nothing gives a +5 bonus.
Also, this form of targeting does not impose disadvantage. And when you hit with the cleaver, they must make a saving throw or be knocked prone.
Yeah, we might rework that to fit better in 5th edition. Because that's a little above and beyond the standard power curve.
Yeah, like no, like
Just
I looked at it, I saw that +5, I was like, no.
But
And then I saw more, and I was like, no.
now, if you guys have particular items that you would like to aim for, just someplace in like your bio where there's notes and shit, jot it down on your character sheets. And that way I'll be able to look at it from time to time and can go place stuff someplace. But all right, did you want to try to steal something, um, Amanda? I almost called you Smidge,
I know.
Smidge man.
Evan.
or did you want to just focus on getting your familiar?
I'm gonna focus on getting my familiar for now.
Okay.
I'm being a wuss.
Well, currently my only choice for a monkey is that. So that will be your monkey once it's needed.
What's sad is like it's hard to tell like if the nose gate is like an actual nose or if it just has a huge chin. Like put it up there again.
Da, 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 da.
Like seriously, the first time I looked at it, it looked like Grandpa in freaking spandex.
Stupid dog.
Pretty much.
Okay. So this is the stuff like the spell says that I can have these animals, and so I'm thinking if I'm doing it like for the sake of having stats, maybe I can make it a hawk and it'll really be like a flying monkey just for flavor.
Oh yeah, no. When it comes down to like find familiar, as long as the familiar you're wanting isn't like ridiculously overpowered.
Okay.
It's like in the Prime game. Anthony's familiar is probably more powerful than a familiar should be, but it's an interesting bit of story for him. So fuck it.
Okay.
Well, yeah, no, I'm pretty loose.
For a hawk, and I'm just for flavor gonna make it a little monkey with wings.
We can totally do that. It's perfectly fine with me. But after you guys have done your shopping and kind of caught your way around town, you do know that you're looking for an Ontharr Froom and wherever Leos and Erlenthar might go. How do you guys want to try and find?
Yeah, maybe in one of the shops or the tavern, we can go and just ask around and see if anybody knows them.
Yeah, if somebody would like to make an investigation check,
I will
and
leave
I
this
will,
to the Smarticles people.
yeah, and I will give advantage because I'm assuming whoever is rolling has help.
I'll give advantage. I don't have a good investigation check though. Oh,
I was
Ooh,
that's
I rolled a
I
natural
don't
20,
think.
so.
yeah. There you
I don't
go.
think it's needed.
I think Evan is quite good at this.
Apparently so.
Yeah, you ask around for a little bit, and some random merchant stall says, Froome, yeah, I know that man. He uh, he headquarters at a tavern called a Pair of Black Antlers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you'll find him there.
Oh, sweet. All right, that's awesome. Then I know exactly where to go. I'm
Yep.
gonna thank the shopkeep and head on out
Mhm.
to look. Is it like super easy to find that place, or do I know where like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
directions?
You guys literally, hey, where's a pair of black antlers? Go down this road, take a left at the frog. You know, shit like
Okay.
that.
All
Yeah.
right, cool. So I'm gonna head there.
Mm. Um, you guys head into a pair of black antlers, and it's a. You guys know those rich people hunting lodges where everything is made out of antlers?
Yes.
even the sheets, the toilet paper.
Yeah, like literally everything is made out of antlers. There are a ridiculous amount of taxidermied animals all around, and that's what this tavern is. That's what this kind of a tavern slash inn kind of thing is. Um, and it's all kind of laid around like a central area where they are. It's not a combat pit like you would see in a seedier spot. This looks more like a wrestling ring. Not like WWE wrestling ring, more like Olympics and high school wrestling ring. Uh, yeah, no, you're not going to see the
Does an
Undertaker
arena
jumping off a
or
cage.
fisticuffs?
Yes, kind of the higher class order of fighting pit. And there's a couple of guys down there stripped to their shirts, kind of slowly beating the crap out of each other, but in good sports. They're not yelling and screaming, they're laughing and having a good time. And everyone's kind of sitting around drinking beer, but you do spot in a table kind of near the stairs that lead up to the more sleeping area of the place, your friend, Leosin Erlenthar, sitting at a table chatting with a barrel chested human. Well, I can show you. Because fuck, I have handouts I didn't know about. Uh, is he a human? Shit, I thought he was a human. He might be a fucking dwarf, and I just didn't realize it. It never really says. Yeah, he's a human. He just kind of looks like a dwarf. That guy. As soon as it shows up.
On Darfur.
Hey.
Who, even from where you're sitting, you can hear him rather boisterously laughing and cheering, and he's that booming voice kind of guy. But aside from that, it's a pretty normal clientele here. Somewhat above middle class, but not too bad. Think of it as a working man's bar.
Gotcha. So are we walking up and starting to talk to him?
That's up to you guys.
I don't know. I'm asking everybody else. What y'all doing?
Yeah, we'll go up there.
Okay.
Okay. I was to say, I swear I will upload a fucking cricket sound.
No, you should definitely do that.
No, it was. You guys were going to report to Leosin what you found and try to compare notes because you guys.
They just appear to be talking, or
Yeah, they just kind of sitting there chatting. Though Leosin does look a little more serious than Onthar does. Um, but yeah, as you guys, step up, Leeson kind
Oh,
of notices you. What's up?
I just remembered. Oh, I probably should have asked you if this is okay. I took the observant feat. And it lets me like read people's lips when they're talking. Can I tell what they're saying?
It's difficult to read. Because of the bushy beard and shit in the way.
Mhm.
But Leosin seems to be trying to get him to focus on the problem at hand, and Onthar seems quite distracted by the current fisticuffs going on in the arena.
Aha. Okay. Okay. That was it. We're walking up, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, Leosin kind of notices as you guys walk up because let's face it, you guys paint a picture. Uh, like the tallest one of you is like 4.5 foot tall, and one of you's a kobold.
Yeah. So we're kind of.
As you walk through a crowd, people kind of look down and wonder. Um,
After they've been bumped by the hilt of my sword.
yeah. You know the classic trope: you knock on the door and they look and don't see anybody because you're so short. Uh, but he kind of gets a grin on his face when he sees you and kind of waves you over to the table and reaches over and shakes Onthar's shoulder, or tries to. The man's huge. And finally seems to get his attention as he points and says, "These are the ones I was telling you of. They hopefully they've brought information." Can anybody here remember what that information is?
We found some dragon eggs.
They had
I'm
mostly
a little
cleared
distracted
out
by that.
when we got there.
Oh yeah.
Said they were. Hold on, I'm trying to get back to the map. Like, yeah, here we are. Okay. I was on a different page. I was still looking for my shopping.
Yes. I'd tell you, but I'm not paid to remember.
So they had. You said they had gone west to like where over near Baragost and Candlekeep, right? And then
Yeah.
they were headed north.
Right. Okay. Good information. I'm glad somebody remembered.
That's right.
Yeah, you had found a map marking the trip through Baragost and up the Tradeway, heading north, up near the Waterdeep area, actually.
Yeah,
But
they made
yes,
it
the
right
most
after.
Waterdeep
important
and
bit of
beyond.
information: we have found dragon eggs, and I'm gonna be a daddy.
Uh, Leosin does the spit take with the ale he was just trying to drink. Uh,
I signal the whole drunk. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. He goes, dragon eggs, you say? That's interesting. How many did you find?
3.
Um, he gets kind of a look, starts to kind of think for a moment. He says, "Would you be willing to possibly part with them?"
I mean, that depends on the offer.
I'm gonna say, would there be some sort of recompense for said parting?
Well, yes, I would, of course, be willing to pay you, but my traveling funds probably would not cover the cost. But I could give a.
Just bear in mind that these things have the potential to be super giant, awesome dragons. So you're not just paying for eggs here; you're paying for a super cool future in which we could all fly on dragons everywhere.
Yeah.
So it better be a sweet deal.
Okay, well, if we don't have money,
He says,
"Look, is there anything else of value that we may be able to barter for?"
He says, let me see what I can come up with. Give me a night, and to see what I can come up with that maybe we can barter with. And he kind of looks at Onthar and kind of gives him a side eye, like, "Are you going to help with this?" Onthar's already back on the fight. He didn't heard a word of any of this yet. Um, he says, "Give me till morning. Let me see what I can come up with. We may well be able to make a deal." He says, "Because I travel lightly." Uh,
You also get captured tightly.
Oh, burn.
uh,
Yes. Wow.
So while
I
we're
At that, I
going
was
shake my
impressed.
head and head to the bar.
I'm
I
almost
want to look
impressed.
over toward the punchy action and see, like, does this appear to be something I could bet on?
yeah, people are taking bets.
Okay. I want to put 10 gold on whoever looks stronger.
All right,
Can I
roll.
tell?
Well,
Roll what?
roll an insight check.
Okay.
All right, you got a pretty good idea. Now throw me percentiles.
Percentiles. Ooh.
Your insight
Mm,
check adjusted the percentile chance to win.
oh.
Oh no, you did good. You did good.
Okay.
You had a really good insight check. So yeah, as the fight comes to a close, the individual that you decided to bet on lands a solid 1-2 combo and follows it up with a nice elbow to the temple, and the other man crumples, and the crowd roars, and you have doubled your bet.
Yay.
Uh, um, but now, as the fight itself comes to an end, Unthar gives a big bellowing cheer that near deafens anyone sitting at his table, slams back what's left of his tankard and slams it to the ground, and finally deigns to give his attention to everybody. It says, "Now to business," as he looks down and sees the kobold sitting at the table, jumps back like he's jumps back for a second. His hand goes to his blade, which is laying there against the wall, and kind of stops as he looks. And Leoson's just staring at him like, "They've been here for 10 minutes."
That's what I say.
I'm
Don't
still-
worry. I thought he was poor too when I first saw him.
Sorry.
Jesus Christ!
I'm
He-
gonna be like, hey, chill out, dude.
Althar kind of settles for a second, shakes his head, sits back down, and says, "Well met. Leoson here keeps trying to tell me that you have joined the cause to track down these cultists."
Apparently.
Joined. I don't remember exactly signing up for something such as this. Was this something I was unaware of while we were adventuring? I thought we were just killing people and taking their money.
he
Like,
he-
shut it, Mr. Bunnyfax. We'll
he
do whatever
he
we have to
reaches
do.
he reaches over the table and claps your shoulder and kind of drags you in and whispers. I don't know if you could see the quotes I was doing when I said that.
Okay.
Whispers, "Good man, we should keep this on the down low," and kind of shoves you back into your chair.
Just slowly slide back, just trying to keep my distance going forward. Not sure how to deal with this man.
The poor man touched me.
Pretty much.
The poor man touched
I
me.
wipe my shoulders off of my gold coins.
Oh God! I gotta tell you, Tori, when you pick a shtick, you really stick to it.
That's the fun part. Oh lord.
But he gets you to repeat everything you just told Leosin because he wasn't paying attention. He says, "This is good news." He says, "Come, let us retire to a more private place," prying ears and all that, as he looks at everybody in the place suspiciously for a moment. Um, he kind of stands up and starts heading up the stairs, not bothering to wait to see if you guys are following. He's just assuming that you will. Leosin kind of shakes his head and beckons you guys to come along.
All right, I suppose we should head up. We'll let Grippo take the lead because he's got the sword. You're a good man, Grippo.
Do I
Yeah.
see anybody? I feel the need to pickpocket somebody.
All right.
Do we? Do I see anybody who looks like they have a lot of money?
Roll a perception check.
Okay.
Yeah, his name is Mr. Dennington.
Oh.
Right. Yeah, there seems to be a likely mark that you will pass directly behind on your way to the onto the stairs. There seems to be a rather foppish-looking merchant with great finery, kind of leaned back in a chair with his legs kicked up, enjoying probably a little too much alcohol with some of his friends.
Awesome. Do any of his friends look particularly?
No,
they might
yeah,
catch
no,
me? Okay.
the whole table looks like a bunch of drunken frat boys.
All right. Let me give this a try.
Go for it.
Ooh. Okay.
Well, that's a sleight of hand roll. Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay, I rolled a 9.
Oh, thank
Get
goodness.
drunk.
Oh god, I was like immediately. What's my deception?
Yeah. Right.
You managed to sidle up. And just as quiet as a mouse, and is about as smooth as, well, sandpaper. You managed to come away with a pouch that has 15 platinum pieces in it.
Oh my god, nice.
Holy shit!
Now just picture this whole scenario where, like, just seeing it from my perspective, you've got the drunk freaking merchant just sit there with his mouth hanging out of his freaking face, and here comes our nice little rogue, basically just fucking gropes him and pulls his shit out. Like, didn't even take a second look to it. He's like,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's assuming that Evan wasn't trying to hide this from the rest of the party as well.
yeah,
I don't really care if they see necessarily.
Okay.
yeah.
I'm assuming I've been around them long enough to know that our general morality in this group is meh.
I think that's the general morality of all the parties this group puts together.
I know.
Why,
Yeah,
whatever
so,
do you
I mean,
mean?
Now,
I know,
if I
right?
have any reason to think that they would have a problem with it, then yeah, I would definitely hide it.
Yeah. Okay. When
We're
you
also
guys
pretty
make
good
a group of players, your morality spans the range of meh to mwahaha.
I mean, that's not necessarily fair. Like, I have high morals, just happen to have dollar signs attached to them. That's all.
But no, you now have 15 plat in the bag. You can
Bullshit.
split that up as you deem fit.
Okay.
Like, Drake says that, and every time, like, I know he's got the wild magic thing. I'm just half expecting him to sneeze in a tavern somewhere and explode. Just.
I'm trying, damn it.
Anthony linked me 10,000 random wild magic effects.
Oh my god.
I haven't decided to use it yet or not because I'm still kind of digging through it.
Yeah.
But yeah, 10,000, Drake.
Now we just need to figure out how to fire the damn things off.
Right?
Like,
When you want to roll a 1.
Yeah.
You can't roll a 1.
The only-
I'm gonna, as we're walking up, can I stop by the bar and ask for if they have any fresh fruit and hand it to my little monkey?
Yeah, they would actually have fresh fruit here.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, just a platter of fresh fruit would probably cost you about $1.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna do that.
You realize, of course, your monkey doesn't actually have to eat.
I know that.
Okay.
But I just think the visual would be really adorable.
Yeah, you
Of
can
him
get a
just,
small
like-
platter of fresh fruit pretty quickly. This is kind of a trade area. There's a lot of trade up and down the river, so yeah, they'd have fresh fruit. But Leosin and Onthar lead you up to a private chamber that is somewhat Spartan, but decked out in keepsakes and trophies of battles gone by. You know, there's old rusted blades and bloodstained swords, kind of dented shields and helmets, various things laid out on the walls and on flat surfaces. They all look to be some kind of memento from some battle that Onthar has been through in his life. As he um, lays his sword up against his dresser and kind of turns to look at you all, and he says, "My friends, we have important business to discuss. At this point, you all know about as much as we do about this cult. And thanks to you, we actually know twice today what we knew even a week ago. Something evil is afoot. We have no formal organization to oppose this cult, not yet. We're currently working on that. He might have said important. You don't know. A lot of beard. Could be a list. We're working on that, and we need people like you, the people who know when to fight and how to keep their heads down and observe. We can't really promise you anything except long days filled with danger and stress. But what could be better than that, eh?
Ripo is nodding emphatically.
I can dig that perfectly.
He says, Arthur says, I represent the Order of the Gauntlet. It's a loose fraternity of uh, priests and paladins and clerics. Um, we always try to uh, stop evil where we see it. Um, and this cult is very much evil. And of course, my friend Leosin here, and Leosin kind of hushes him for a second. He says, I represent a more secretive organization, um, one that strives to make sure good things happen in the realms and to put a stop to bad things, not necessarily through direct conflict, but through machinations and working behind the scenes. If you're interested in either organization, we can see that you have support and aid wherever you may go, as long as you're working in the interests of or working towards the same goals.
So these organizations are all about, helping good, like kind of eliminating the bad stuff. Do they really care about our, alignment?
Shenanigans, shall we say?
We get up to some shit. I'm not,
Okay.
I'm not gonna
For
specify exactly.
for lack of role play, for to make this quick and simple in the role playing aspect, and to make sure that everybody understands and doesn't get confused from the Order of the Gauntlet is one of the factions in the Sword Coast. It's a very open, non-secretive order, and their members do tend to be of a good alignment because they're at the front lines of any kind of like fiendish incursion or against goblins, the more evil races. They're out there, and that's kind of what they do. The second organization, and some of you will know what I'm talking about, Leosin is a member of the Harpers.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah. I think
I'm familiar with both of them.
yeah, I knew Drake would be. Tori, does that make any sense to you?
Yeah.
I don't know how much Forgotten Realms you've ever read. Richard, I'm sure the Harpers. You know what the Harpers are.
I know the Harpers, and I've heard of the Order of the Gauntlet.
Okay.
I've got a monk who's in the Order of the Gauntlet in another game.
Yeah. The Harpers are a secretive group spread all over the realms that do what they can to oppose certain other factions. They want to make sure that that everything remains balanced, so to speak, that everybody gets their fair shake, that the right people are in government, that the government's not oppressive. things of that nature, and they tend to be more secretive, though some do wear their symbols openly. It's a silver harp nestled between the horns of a crescent moon. The Order of the Gauntlet, I can't remember. I can't remember the Order of the Gauntlet off the top of my head. I think
It's the Silver Gauntlet.
Yeah, I think it's just a silver gauntlet. Yeah. Not as well known as the Harpers. The 90% of the Forgotten Realms books have freaking Harpers in them.
Yeah, I've definitely read about the Harpers.
Yeah.
The Order of the Gauntlet, I think I've heard the name before, but I'm just now like I just went and pulled it up on D&D Beyond. I'm reading about it.
Okay.
So, would our characters have heard of these guys? I know as players we know.
Well, the Order of the Gauntlet, yeah. If you've been around the realms, you know who the is. The Harpers,
Okay.
the Harpers, you've probably heard of, and may or may not have believed in their existence.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Boogeyman.
Yeah, kind of a good boogeyman, you know.
Okay.
Myth, legend kind of thing. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like borders on like basically like Illuminati. They're a big conspiracy.
Got it.
Yeah. Yeah, there are a ridiculous number of bards among their ranks.
Yes, there are.
It's like, ooh, you're a bard. Here's your pin. You know, that's the entry fee.
We're not even going to test you. You're in.
Yeah.
Cool.
But he says we're also allied with a third group known as the Emerald Enclave, though we don't have a representative here. They're the druidic. They're the hippies.
Oh, okay.
Just the easy way to put it is they're the hippies. Yeah.
We are the
Yeah.
hippies. We are the hippies.
Yeah. But basically, these guys are offering you the opportunity to join one of the factions to aid in stopping the cult. Leeson does mention that at any given point in time in the histories, because the cult of the dragon has been around for ages, he says they always seem to have a singular goal, and that is the resurrection of the great five-headed dragon Tiamat.
Oh, fuck. Well, I am
It's-
definitely not for that. So I don't think Evan seems like the kind of person that would have like any necessarily loyalty to a group, but I do think she'd be willing to cooperate with any of these as long as they don't limit her freedom to
You don't have to
be
join a
killing
faction.
motherfucker, right?
You do not have to join a faction. The option is there for any of you individually. You don't even have to join the same faction. If you would like to join the faction, that will give you some benefit down the road, being able to have contacts in certain places, etc., that kind of thing.
I like the Harpers. I think I would.
Okay.
I think I would like to join because they're secretive. So, being a little thief.
I'm kind of thinking
Like-
the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially being one of said lesser evil races.
So what was the other one? I think we got the Harpers, then we got the Order of the Gauntlet.
Order of the Gauntlet. The Order of the Gauntlet is primarily a
Holy Power, that kind of crap.
yeah. They tend to be very open and upfront about who they are. Kind of the front lines kind of people.
Gotcha. You said there was a third one though, right? Or no?
The Emerald Enclave.
Emerald Enclave, they don't have a representative here at the moment because they're still kind of organizing this alliance right now.
Okay.
See,
Yeah, I guess if I'm gonna do
you
the
guys-
Harpers, but
Okay. I kind of figured you
Harpers?
guys would aim toward the Harpers as
Yeah.
a whole in
Yeah.
general if you were going to do anything.
I mean, we could
I-
kill everybody for the Holy Power thing. That's a thing, right? Like,
I just sent a link. I don't know if you guys will be able to access it if you haven't bought the book, but you may be able to access it, and it talks about the factions. It's from the Player's Handbook.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Or no, it's from the basic.
Was it in the Oh, right.
Yeah,
Oh,
those
I
are the
see.
5 basics.
Yeah, it doesn't include some of the other ones that I think exist, but these are like the popular ones, I think.
Yeah, these are your primaries.
Yeah.
Okay, I used to do Harper shit all the time in second edition because I ran a
Yeah.
lot of realms in second edition. Yeah, this is missing out like the Red Wizards of Thay and a couple of others, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, those assholes.
yeah, those dicks. Well, in the current timeline, they're led by a lich, so there's 2 factions of the wizards right now.
Oh wow.
Zaz Tam came back to life and decided, "Fuck it, I'm taking over."
Oh great.
Uh, yeah. He says, "Well, that is excellent news. Before your journey commences, I will make sure that each of you has a pin, so that you
Okay.
can be identified as a Harper." Um, it does say, where was I? Okay.
Can we join
Uh,
all of the factions? Can we just join all of them?
if you stay hidden well enough.
I mean, because I'm thinking, I think my chick, her thing is that she carries around a whole bunch of holy symbols and just, uses the one that best suits her in the moment. Seems like the kind of thing she would
Right.
do.
You're Penny.
I can see you there in a crisis moment, down on your knees, throwing holy symbols over your head. No, 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 no! This one, please, God's help!
You're Benny.
I probably should pick like a few holy symbols so that I can like say which ones I definitely have, just in case that becomes relevant later.
Yeah. He says, "Okay, now that that is settled, what we've known so far, what you have brought to us, that the treasure is being traversed northward. The next stage of information gathering is going to be tracking where the treasure itself is going and what the cult are planning to do with it. That's the next couple of questions we need to answer. The We would like you to join the caravan as it heads north, uh, as guards or some other subterfuge, and travel along with them. Chances are they're hiding in a more um uh, merchant caravan, um, which would be a number of individual independent merchants just banding together, based because they happen to be traveling in the same direction. If we can get you to Baldur's Gate, they'll need to pass through Baldur's Gate at some time in the next few days. And this will allow you a bit of time to hire on with a caravan and follow them north and gather information.
Okay. So we're infiltrating.
Yes.
You.
Is this? He says, "I've already arranged for a boat to leave at dawn. Just in case, I've been arranging a boat every day that can take you down the river to Baldur's Gate in about 3 days and save you some overland travel times. Um, if this is acceptable to you, we can begin the preparations.
Okay.
Everybody good with this?
Yeah, that sounds good. Can we bring
Yeah.
our horses on the boat?
Uh, yeah, yeah. Horses would be helpful in a merchant caravan, anyways.
Okay, cool.
He says that is excellent, and he says, meet back here in the morning, and we will head to the docks back here at dawn. I will have uh, some payment to help you cover expenses along the trip. And is there anything specific that you might think you might need?"
Hmm.
Hmm.
I'll need at least 12 health potions.
Lord, just go for
he,
it.
he, he kind of taking it back and says, "I'm not sure I can. Do you expect to be harmed that much?"
I do. I drink a lot, and so alcohol poisoning really drains your HP.
Oh my fucking
Broom is sitting back there. Uh-huh.
He
Seems like that kind of guy.
he raises his flask to you and nods as he takes a swig.
I'll raise mine that I'm pretending that I have. I don't know if I have one, but I'm gonna fucking have one now.
Yeah, right.
Says, "I will see what I can come up with for healing." Sure.
I'll wink at him. Thanks, son.
But if not, please rest this afternoon. The journey continues come morning, and I will see you at dawn, and we will see you on your way.
Okay.
Wait, weren't we gonna talk about the eggs? Or
In
is
the
that-
morning.
is that
He has
in the
to
morning?
try and
Okay.
put something.
Well, yeah,
in
you can. There'll be time for that as well.
All right, cool. Yeah.
There's a you guys could maybe find rooms here, but there's also any other number of places. Did you guys want to do anything specific in town, or just crash for a night?
I'm down with crashing though. If y'all want to do anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really have anything.
Yeah, same here.
Okay. Oh my god. I am not giving you guys this magic item. Ever.
Why?
Now I'm curious.
Now I wanna know, really.
I just click the show to players.
Nice.
Oh.
Like Digby would love that a lot more than my players. But yeah.
Yeah.
You know that's something that I can totally create with Smidge, right?
I know. I know. All right, so you guys find you guys find an inn for the night. For everybody, a grand total of the cost for the inn for everybody and breakfast in the morning is a gold for like the whole party. If somebody wants to front that, or split it up, however you guys
Does
need to.
someone want to front this?
I'll do it.
You will. Good,
Mhm.
good woman, man.
And then next time it's your fucking turn.
Yeah.
Well, that all depends whether you pickpocket somebody else or not.
This is true.
Ooh, that is a ooh.
We'll just
That's
call it.
okay.
We'll just call it a charitable donation to the cause.
Okay, so right after I pay the gold, I want to go see if I can pickpocket someone else. Who else is there?
Hey, maybe your marks are still there.
Oh,
We won't say anything.
No,
you
I've got
just
it.
front the cost.
I've got a thought.
Hmm.
I ask her to give me the gold,
Mhm.
and I go talk to the innkeeper.
Don't do it.
Okay, just the one gold.
Just the one gold, and
Alright.
before I hand it to the innkeeper, I'm going to use my intimidation to see if I can get it for half off instead.
Oh, your intimidation.
Oh dear God.
Yes.
And this is in the what's it called? The pair of black antlers.
Yes.
All right, go ahead and roll an intimidation check.
Okay. I say,
Anybody willing to bet that Ding gets his ass kicked?
So I tell them that's a little expensive, don't you think? That's
Oh shit.
And he actually pulls it off.
Well, actually,
While he's doing this, I want to sneak up behind Dennington and pickpocket.
oh motherfucker, really?
you're gonna
we go.
pickpocket
Yes!
Dennington.
I was waiting for you to do it.
Oh my god. Well, okay. Before we go to that, the tavern owner kind of look at you and kind of his eyes go a little beady as he kind of looks over you, And he kind of tilts his head for a second. He says, "All right, all right, half a gold, and you guys can have the rooms."
Good man.
Now I need Evan to roll a sleight of hand while Dennington rolls a perception.
Damn it. All right. My perception's actually pretty. No, that's actually pretty good.
Oh, oh, so close!
Scott,
I-
tell me we see this.
You guys can make perception checks to see it as well. Anybody who
Oh
would
my
like
God.
to?
I hope Rippo gets this because this is going to be some gratification for him.
Gwildor saw it with a natural
Yeah,
20.
nope, no. Damn it!
Rippo, you got nothing but a sea of assholes and farts.
Yeah, pretty much. No, it would have been so great because Rippo would have been able to have like the greatest gratification ever to like walk up to him after the fact and be like, "Who's poor now?"
All right, just to be nice to Tori, we will give you 2d6 gold you managed to take off of him. So there you go.
Fine, okay, so
Though Gwildor,
I was
if
gonna take one.
you might have meant to take one, but you are who you are.
I still
Thought you
keep the,
took one.
but I still keep
Oh,
the half
God.
gold from what I took from her anyway.
Yes.
I'm keeping that. So.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tori.
Gwildor, Drake, you saw this. Did you want to say it, speak up, or just chuckle?
I'm just sitting back laughing my ass off.
Okay.
Do I see him see it?
Well, he's laughing in your general direction.
I'm gonna wink at him.
Oh my God, this is going to be one of those parties.
We
All right.
already were.
You guys get rooms for the night. Over the course of the night, for however late you guys want to stay up, there are a number of other folk that end up going into the fighting pit. It seems that anyone can challenge anyone. It kind of seems that the pit is entertainment and how they settle disputes at the bar.
Oh, then Rippo name it like
Whoa.
Mighty Dragon Warrior.
Oh.
Like just it's for fun, so it's for funsies.
All right, all right. You go to put your name in, and as soon as you've kind of walked up to the guy who's there's a guy kind of sitting there near the entrance to the pit who's got a ledger and he's kind of
The
taking the
bookie.
books. Yeah. And you go up and put your name in, and he explains the rules. He says this is fisticuffs only, no weapons, no armor. You good with that?
It's good for me.
All right. Then he takes and puts your name down in the book. Says, I'll call you when we have a challenger. And as he says that, you feel this wide, meaty, gruff, calloused hand laid out on your shoulder and turn to look at this bush of a dwarf.
Yeah.
He's not much taller than you, but he's 3 of you wide. With this shock of somewhat graying black hair and a beard that dangles down to tickle his nuts.
Oh god.
Not a
He
far
says-
trip.
As the beard kicks up into a grin and there's a sparkle in his eye, says, I'll fight you.
Rippo would know. Yes.
As the man running it just kind of chuckles and throws a name down and points behind him, says, y'all go ahead and get in and take the armor and everything off, and I'll start the bets going.
All right. Rippo will lay the great sword down.
Yeah.
Just outside.
Yeah, I don't think you have
Not
armor
worried.
anyways, do you?
Nope.
Okay.
Can I
The
tell
dwarf-
if one of them looks like they're gonna win?
Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult to tell. Dwarf looks pretty tough. He kind of steps in and walks over to his corner, and he's just kind of wearing a regular jerkin, a shirt, and he pulls it off over his head, and he's definitely the barrel-chested, kind of thick dwarf, pretty classic dwarf. As somebody hands him a mug over the railing, which he downs quickly, so now he's got frothy ale all in his beard. Uh, would anybody like to make bets?
Hmm.
I would, but I'm pretty sure Grippo's got something up his sleeve.
Well, you can bet on Wirpo.
What he's saying is he's pretty sure he wants to bet against me, but he thinks I got something up my sleeve.
Yeah.
I was just thinking the same ass thing. Oh man, goodness.
All right.
Okay, just for ease, does anybody remember offhand what unarmed is?
It is 1 damage plus your strength modifier.
Okay,
Yeah.
Oh, right. We have a.
'cause I'm going ahead and setting up the attack just so I have it.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll put. I'll put 8 gold on Rippo. Show him. Say, don't fail me.
I'll put 5 gold on Rippo.
Okay. You guys just kind of remember what you've got down.
Yeah. Yeah. I got
I
Okay.
need to, because that's fine. Throw an attack on a character real fast.
All right. What the hell? I'll go 9.
Oh, you just gotta one up me. I see how it is.
It's called accounting. It makes it much easier.
That's exactly what it was. I had 8 gold free. I was like, fuck, it's 8. There you go.
Uh, the fuck you? Oh. Somehow I had accidentally given this guy 1116 strength instead of
Oh
16.
wow.
That's
Like,
a bit much.
why is his attack plus
that would've
575?
I'm changing my bet.
I know, right?
I know,
No,
right?
no backsies.
I'm
right?
not even doing like a whole character here. I'm literally just throwing some numbers together so that I've got numbers to go against. Math sucks. All right, I'm not going to map this because you guys are just going to be trading blows for the most part.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll initiative just so we see who's in what order, and I can kind of show off a new thing. Well, no, I don't have tokens on the board, so it's not going to show off. So, okay, so you got a 14. He got a 10, so you get to start.
Okay.
So after a few moments for everybody to place their bets, please remember what bet you placed.
Okay. Is the person that's taking the bets writing them down in like a book that he's holding on to, or is there like a ledger?
Doesn't seem like it's quite that organized.
Okay.
Because there's a number of people around the bar taking bets, though it all seems to be making its way back to a person.
Okay.
Seems more like a what's the word I'm looking for? Loose betting.
Mm.
All right, Rippo, you're up first. What do you want to do?
All right. I will step into melee with him
All right.
and shake his hand.
He damn near crushes yours. Or tries to.
I don't think he's gonna do that. Not with a 16 strength.
Yeah, well, he's
Oh,
gonna
goodness.
squeeze. Oh, that's right. You're struck up too. So yeah, he's gonna squeeze, thinking, and then give you the appreciative nod that you held off on it.
And Rippo, mighty dragon warrior, thank you for fight. And then he's gonna slug him in the jaw.
All right, roll it.
Yes.
Oh shit!
Whoa! It didn't roll the. Oh wait, hold on. It didn't roll the damage right though.
Yeah, it did.
No, it didn't, because it didn't add my strength modifier onto either one of those.
It did. Hover
wait,
over
yeah,
the
yeah,
5.
no. Yeah, that's right. It
Yeah.
did. It did. The
Yeah.
second one is just the dice. That's right. So yeah,
Yeah, that
so
doesn't get
6.
multiplied. All right, so you smack him a good one. Hold on, I'm trying to find. There's particular rules I need to look up. Here we go. Okay. You smack him a good one, and he staggers back and spits a little blood and grins as he smacks his knuckles together for a second and steps in and swings at you. He is going to hit armor class 19.
It hits.
Yeah. He does 5 points of damage. And while he is stepping in to punch you, he actually grabs you by the shoulder with his other hand, and you're now grappled. He has the tavern brawler feat.
Oh.
See, you are grappled, which means grappled. And it always a pain in the ass to look this up. You are grappled. Your speed is 0 while you are grappled. You can, of course, attempt to break free of it, but you can just keep punching him. It doesn't really stop you from being able to punch. You don't have you're tracking your hit points on your character sheet.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, he follows suit, bow, and hits you for 5, and now he's got a hold of your shoulder, and he's just kind of barreling at you, winging punches. You're up. No
Okay.
real grace or finesse in his fighting style at all. He fights
Rimpo's
like
the same
a-
way.
He fights like a dwarf. Grab, punch, 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 punch till it stops moving.
The only thing separating me from my normal raging is I'm not raging, but I'm fighting like a. So we will take another swing.
Okay.
Where did? Oh, there it is. I also will hit armor class 9.
I think this is going to boil down to who has the most hit points.
I know.
All right, he takes another suck and kind of grins. He's now got blood mixing with the froth on his beard, but it doesn't seem like it slowed him down at all as he reaches back for a hammer blow to your snout. Only 14. I don't know if that hits you or not.
Nope.
Oh, so you managed to dodge your head out of the way of that one. Wiggle around in his hands. You're up.
All right.
At this level, it's just trading blows. I mean, really.
Yep. Gonna hit him again.
Oh, that hits him.
Oh, it did? Nice.
Yeah, he's not dexterous. He's just a dwarf. All right, he takes another blow, and again, doesn't seem like it's phasing him yet. And you are being squirrely right now. That's a 10.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Dragon footwork.
Hey,
Mighty Dragon Warrior.
next time he fights, can I or next time he goes to hit Rippo, can I like throw out an invisible mage hand and give him a wedgie to give him disadvantage on the attack?
You can, but this seems like all right, just before you do that, you are in a place where everything seems to be fairly legit when it comes to this fighting arena. You can. I'm just letting you know that this isn't like seedy underbelly where they just laugh it off. Somebody might actually get mad that you interfered in this one.
Oh, okay. I might not do it then.
Okay. All right, so another
Like,
smack to
things
the
are gonna
door.
get rough.
The kobold is holding his own. The crowd is cheering, though they are cheering like Lizard Man because, they don't know who you are. Oh, no, they would have announced you. So, yeah, you're hearing chants of Rippo starting to round because nobody expected the kobold to give this well.
I'm gonna use my bonus action, like after that last punch that I just dealt him,
Yeah.
and like I'm gonna play to the crowd. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
You're
while
starting to
he's
get some
holding on
cheers.
to me, trying to hit me. Like
Yeah, you're starting to get some cheers. You are showing your own against a known entity in this tavern. He swings again. Oh, that is
That one
AC
hits.
24.
that one.
And he got 7
Ooh.
because he actually gets to roll a dice.
Walk it off. Walk it off.
Yeah, that one cleaned your clock. You
Oh.
distracted yourself for a moment by playing to the crowd and have paid for it dearly.
I should have given him the goddamn wedgie.
Well, yeah, in this case, the 19 would have still hit. So,
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Sorry, I walked away.
yeah, your swing.
Okay, here we go. And another one
Oh yeah,
for another 5.
yeah. He seems like he might actually be starting to feel this. He's not recovering as quickly from the blows. His face is starting to swell. One eye is starting to close on him, but he's still got that grin on his face. His teeth are now covered in blood. Um, he's got blood coming down from a cut over one eye as he's just still got a hold of you with one arm and just barreling into you with the right. 16.
Miss.
Ooh, close one. You're up.
And again. Nope. That
Oh no. Yeah, you connected with that one. You
Oh, it
connected
did?
with that one. It didn't do any damage to him because you connected at a weird angle on his hard ass dwarf noggin, and that one's made your wrist go a little tingly from the smack. He returns the favor, hitting AC
That one.
20 for 4. Rolled for shit on that one. You're up. How you doing on hit points, by the way?
31 out of 47.
Ah, you're doing better than him.
And here we go again.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a miss.
Finally.
A
Isn't
couple
that
of
the
misses.
first miss? That's fucking awesome. I mean, that you
Mine
had
were
that long of a
mightily
streak of
missed,
not
yeah.
missing.
It's because I'm not using the sword.
Right?
Right? Oh my god.
You guys kind of slap at each other for a moment and both miss.
And
Note to self: next battle, hide the sword.
Oh, that's a hit. Let's see here. There's all right. With that final punch, he kind of roars, grabs you with his other hand, and is going to attempt to lift you in the air. So I need you to make, and this is your choice, athletics or dexterity or acrobatics check to oppose what he's about to do.
we will go with athletics.
Oh. Ooh. Ah, shit. Hold on.
Holy fucking crap.
I'm tempted to give it to him because his is technically a crit.
I would say give it to him because of the crit. Mine's not a natural. Like, it's the only thing that separates
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, we're going to give it to him because of the crit. Yeah, you as struggle as you might trying to keep him from doing it, he manages to get you flipped up and rolls you over in a full board over his shoulder suplex to slam into the ground behind him. This is going to cause.
I approve of this.
That's going to be 7 damage from the suplex as he slams you into the ground and quickly rolls over on top of you, trying to pin you down. You're not at advantage or disadvantage. You're both technically prone at this point, but you are still technically grappled as he's now sitting on you, trying to finish the fight.
All right.
As he just roars it out, and as soon as you hit, the crowd is a chorus of ohs and cheers and yays, and you could still hear people chanting Rippo, and some are chanting the dwarf's name. You're up,
What's his name?
bastards.
I want to go up to the guy and ask him if I can double my bet.
Shit.
He'll let you. Well, they are chanting Bone Breaker for the dwarf. He's known here.
Okay. And so it's my
More
turn.
risky, I'm doubling down.
Yeah. You're now
Okay.
you're pinned underneath him. You can still make your attacks, no advantage, disadvantage, because he is technically prone as well, so it kind of cancels.
So we're gonna keep this little show going, just since he did this. Like it's gonna be really good for the crowd. So I am going to like as he slams me down from that and like rolls through and goes to punch me, I am going to try to like push up and roll through it again and then slam him fucking down. Basically a power bomb.
Okay,
I'm
that
gonna
would
roll
be
right through it and fucking slam him down.
all right. So again, opposed athletics check because you're now trying to shove him and gain the upper hand.
Ooh, go Rippo.
Ooh, yes. As he flips up over you and tries to pin you down, you shove him back off of you real fast and snap forward and slam him to the ground. You do 5 damage unarmed,
Yes.
which technically you don't do damage in maneuvers like that. I'm giving it just to speed this up a little bit. Yeah, you now have him slammed to the ground.
And I am gonna take up the mount as well and prepare for
Yeah,
the pummeling.
yeah. All right. Fuck it. He's going to try and get out from under you. He's going to try and shove you off and get his feet. So, opposed athletics check again.
Ugh.
He does.
Out from underneath me.
Yeah, he shoves you off of him because let's face it, you weigh half what the dwarf does.
Yeah.
I mean, he kind of shoves you off over his head and snaps up to his feet real quick and turns and is now you guys are about now both in stances. Neither of you are grappled at this point, but you're both in stances ready to go. He doesn't have another action to attack you with this round, and that one won't do any damage. It was just a quick shove off, not a hardcore slam into the ground. So you are up, both standing and ready to go.
All
He's
right.
looking rough. He's kind of protecting himself a little bit, moving a little slower. One eye has swollen shut, but he's still grinning like he's enjoying every minute of it.
Yay, Rippo too, big toothy grin. And I'm gonna rush in and give him another wallop.
Give him
for his
another
other
wallop.
eye. Oh.
Oh no, he just sidesteps just out of the way as you rush forward. Let's see if he can no, but he misses on his return swing as you guys kind of trade places and he kind of stumbles back into a quick stance. You're up.
And we go again.
Oh, and that will do the trick. You come forward throwing a wild haymaker at this point because you guys are both exhausted. Because I don't know if you've ever been in a fight that's gone on this long, trust me. You guys are both feeling exhausted, and you throw this wild haymaker reaching up for his chin, and he just can't quite get enough speed to move out of the way as you clock the side of his jaw, and his head kind of goes back, and his eyeballs kind of whirl around for just a second, and he just falls flat. Boom! Back on his back on the ground, and the crowd erupts wildly, chanting your name. He's not completely unconscious. You just knocked him down to 2 hit points.
After raising my arms and stuff, I'll reach down and offer him a hand to help him up.
Yeah, and he kind of shakes his hand and stands up and kind of turns to the cheering crowd and grabs your wrist and yanks you off your feet as he raises your arm in the air. Well, how tall are you? Like 3 foot?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, he gets you up on your tiptoes. As he shouts "Rippo" a time or two, and then he slaps you on the back. It kind of leans in and he goes, "Drinks are on me the rest of the night. Come on!"
I will join him.
As he kind of staggers back over to his table, hollering for a round of drinks. Those of you that bet on Rippo will have doubled your gold.
Whenever they go to give me the gold, I want to be like, "Hey man, you're a little short."
Based off of what? Like what are you rolling for? Like
I want to do deception and try to convince him that when I asked to double my
That's
bet, I want
the thing I saw in my head was
yeah.
the what halfling?
Yeah, that's a little short, yeah.
the halfling walking up to like the 6 foot tall human and going, "Hey man, you're a little short."
Oh God.
He he, he kind of looks at you like you're insane, and he spits off. I can't. What was it? 10 gold total? You bet.
Yeah, I bet 10, and
Yeah.
I wanna convince him that I bet 15.
Roll deception.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
There you go. All right, if she can do it, I can do it too. I'm gonna look at him and it's like, you can't get anything right, you.
Oh
bitch."
shit! Yeah, no. He kind of stops. Evan, he kind of stops and thinks for a second. He goes, "Oh shit, you're right. I'm so sorry," and passes off another 10 gold to you. Dennington, are you going to try this as well?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Roll deception.
Damn it! Oh. I got the same one she does
Oh.
too. +6. God. That's like a 2.
I rolled a 5.
Yes!
He does the same with you.
No,
He-
I rat him out. I rat Dennington out.
Roll persuasion for me.
Really? Asshole.
As he was getting ready to count out your extra gold, Goldor comes up and goes, "He's fucking lying!" And he looks at you, Dennington, and says, "Get out of here! I got other people to pay." And he walks off.
Well, fine. She's lying too.
I'm gonna be like, yeah, what a jerk.
No, and then I'll say, she's lying too then.
Roll persuasion. Oh,
And I'm gonna say, nuh-uh.
this poor guy is bouncing around this little party in sharp, just like, you've been paid what you're going to get paid. Get out. And it goes off to the next group waiting to get paid. Oh, this party.
I know.
Oh, this party.
There's nothing showing who bet the most or anything like that, is there?
No, not really. It's all
Any
kind of
other-
run on the honor system here.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good for us.
That was their fault.
Yeah.
A nice showing there, Rippo. Very good showing.
Thank you.
That's-
Yeah, that was
Like, poor Rippo, he's got all the glory. We're sitting here just like fighting over freaking scraps. Like,
Rippo made a friend.
Oh yeah,
Friends seem to do everywhere we go.
this is true.
yeah. You are now the kobold drinking at a table full of dwarven workers.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So unless you have
Who's
other
the
plans,
Who's the real rich person here?
so unless you have other plans for the night, you're only going to remember parts of it.
Oh.
I-
Did Rippo win anything
perfectly okay
for
with it.
winning?
No, not unless he bet on himself.
Yeah, no, I did.
Really? I figured the person fighting would get a cut, but I guess not. No.
Well, no, this is like I say, it's
Just open thing.
if they from time to time have shows, and in those cases the fighters are paid. But in just an open pit, anybody wants to fight, it's more of while you guys are there over the
Reunion
course,
night for fighters.
kind of. Well, it's also that while you're there over the course of the night, this is a fairly rambunctious, boisterous. This is very much the braggarts kind of club.
Gotcha.
So as people start to argue or a card game goes bad and two people stand up, there are a number of burly bouncers that quickly grab them and shove them in the ring.
So it's more of a take it outside thing. Gotcha.
Yeah. So any kind of conflict that happens, and you do notice over the course that for the number of people and the size of this place, there's probably 3 times the bouncers you would expect to see. Specifically to keep any fights that might happen inside the ring without weapons. It's done in a good way, and if you're thrown in the ring or wish to fight for just whatever reason, you don't really get paid for that. But they would have, Friday night lights, let's get ready to rumble, where they would have professional fighters that they would pay.
Okay. Yeah, cool.
But good showing, Rippo, and you are now halfway on your way to drunk on dwarven ale, which for
Woo!
somebody like you
It's like
is.
teacup.
Oh no, they give him like dwarf size mugs.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, you're a kobold. You haven't had a lot of opportunity to drink dwarven ale in your lifetime.
No, this is from mighty fine shine.
Yeah. Um, but the rest of you guys that bet all make your winnings and can enjoy the evening as well. And
I'm
unless
gonna walk
there's,
over and hand Rippo 5 gold.
yeah,
He'll thank you. Yeah.
um, uh, but you just Rippo, you enjoy a night of camaraderie with dwarves, which you would have never thought possible before in your life.
Yep.
You've stood toe to toe with one and proven yourself. So you learn a few dwarven, drinking songs over the course of the night.
Whether or not I remember them when I'm sober is a completely different thing.
Yeah. We will go ahead and fade to the next morning if you guys would like to take a rest. Yeah, Rippo, you do get a long rest and your health comes back. I know they don't have subdual damage in 5th edition, but it was primarily subdual damage.
Yeah.
Uh, Morning comes bright and early, and unless somebody wants to go wake Rippo up, he is not going to wake up in time on his own.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let his ass
'cause-
sleep.
I'll wake him up, but in a somewhat rude objector. Do we have like some cold water I could throw in his face or something?
Oh yeah, you could easily find some. Yeah,
Get up, you oaf! We're leaving.
yeah.
You're too poor to take your own time.
um, yeah, you are feeling the effects this morning, Rippo.
Oh, I'm sure.
But as you guys gather and meet back up with Leusen, um, before you guys, and the tavern during the morning is much quieter. They've got a good, healthy breakfast with bacon and eggs and cheeses and toasts and gravies, and so you can get a good, solid, healthy breakfast. But it seems that very few people who stay here wake up at dawn. So the place is fairly dead outside of Leusen and Onthar, who seems to feel about like Rippo does while he's sitting at the table. Though, if anyone is interested, you can smell freshly brewed coffee.
Oh
Yeah, which is actually fairly well brewed in this place. But as you guys come down the stairs, Leosin kind of waves you over to a table where he already has a breakfast feast kind of set up for you guys.
Greasy
And
cock.
he's got sitting next to his chair, kind of leaned back against the table. You guys can see, um, quickly within reach of him, he's got a very ornate-looking staff that, well, I'll show you guys a picture in a little bit. He's got a very ornate-looking staff and another sitting right next to it, another small bundle wrapped up. He says, before we get to the business of the dragon eggs, which is side to all of this, um, the he gives you the name of the boat, which is whatever the hell, it doesn't really matter. Says they are ready to leave whenever you guys make your way to the docks. He hands each of you a pouch with 50 gold. He says this will help cover any traveling expenses you incur until we can meet up again. So you all get 50 gold.
Cool deal.
And he says, I have, as far as the dragon eggs, I have managed to procure a couple of items from contacts I have in the area that might be of interest to you. And he takes the staff and he lays it down on the table, and then he unwraps a ornate pair of bracers from the cloth and sets it out. And he explains that the bracers will aid in the defense of the unarmored, and the staff has command over flame. And I will hit the show to player button on these handouts. He says if I could get one egg for each of these, I would be willing to trade for these. I would love to get all three of them, but I could not gather anything of value, any more of value in the time.
Rippo puts his hand on his shoulder and says, "That's okay. The other is Rippo's child."
Yeah. Rippo doesn't notice it, but everybody else sees the look of utter fear on Leoson's face when he says that.
Oh, I'm sure he looks scared.
All right. So we're good with trading. Like that. What?
That's up to you guys.
Let me see.
And who
I-
gets those? You guys can deal with. Like my AC is pretty good right now. Still.
Yeah,
Mine's
the
only
braces-
14, so
Yeah, the braces of armor will give +2 to AC for anyone not wearing armor using a shield, and the Staff of Fire handout has its explanations in it.
Where is it? Let's see here.
Yeah, you guys should have it in the handout section someplace under magic items. I have no idea when I click the show to players if it shows you both of them or if one overrides the other.
It
it
brought
lays
the
it over,
bracers
but
up.
it's still there.
Yeah.
You
extra,
can't
like,
move it
you can the
around?
bracers over. Yeah, you can.
Oh, you can
Yeah.
move the bracers over? Okay.
And it's also in our journals now. All.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. So, yeah. So, if that is acceptable to you guys, we will get you down to a single black dragon egg, which would be so much easier on me and give you guys a little bit of a boost.
I
Yeah.
don't know. This isn't a sweet enough deal.
All right. I look at
I'm kidding.
what's her face. I can't remember her name anymore. Like
Evan?
Evan is like, if you accept this, then I will consider a square with the ring.
What ring?
The ring that I saw you steal and I told you owe me half for.
Oh yeah, I sold that, and you got
Oh.
you got some of that.
We
Yeah.
did?
Yeah.
I thought you kept it. Okay.
Yeah.
My bad. Never mind.
No.
that's
She
why we
decided
got
to go ahead.
Never mind.
Yeah.
You
I
did
like
see
that
her
one.
sleight of hand that one way back there, but she did
Yeah.
actually
Yeah. Okay.
end up
I-
selling
I-
that and
I
splitting
didn't
it up.
catch that part. My bad.
imagine that.
Well, I have seen your perception rolls.
I know, right?
It's up to you guys. You can keep the eggs, or you can trade for these two items. At minimum, 2 eggs, an item per egg.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Who
Is
else
it like,
used the bracers? Just Rippo and
well, are we?
We've got a
I-
warlocks. Warlocks can wear armor. I just don't know what you're wearing.
Let's check and see what I've got.
Yeah, warlocks can wear light.
And the staff could be druid, sorcerer, warlock, or wizard.
I don't think I have any armor on actually. No, I got leather armor. I got leather armor? Why do I have leather armor? Is that considered light armor? Yeah, that's considered light
Yeah.
armor.
Yeah, leather is light armor.
Yeah,
So I've got leather, so it's not gonna do me any good.
I could use the bracers. In all honesty,
I would totally love that staff. Just saying, but
Okay.
yeah. Well, yeah. As long as we have people who would like to use these and think that they're awesome, I think it's worth it.
yeah.
All right. Well, I'm fairly certain that both of these items are probably in the compendium.
Yeah.
Maybe, if I get lucky. Yeah, they
should be.
are. They're pretty basic items. Yes, they're both in the compendium. So if you would like to drag that to your character sheets, respectively, it should automatically set it up. That way you have them, and of course we have the handouts here as well. And now you guys only have one dragon egg to deal with, which is so much nicer to me.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm
just
carrying a staff of fire. I'm just gonna go ahead and start selling some of my freaking melee stuff because I don't need this many fucking daggers and hammers and shit. Like I've got a light hammer, a hand axe, and 2 fucking daggers on a goddamn warlock.
yeah, I've got to come up with a somewhat younger age category for dragons because you guys are not getting a young dragon when this thing
I
hatches.
know, right?
Well, young dragon is not a hatchling. You know,
Do they
that's
not
that's.
have the wormling in this one?
Oh, is that maybe what I'm looking for? Oh, wait, they do. They do have wormlings. Yeah, that's better. That fits. Yeah, okay. That's perfect. Yeah. Do have wormlings. Okay. Um, because all right. You guys got your equipment set up?
Yeah, I think so.
Working on it now, but go
Yeah,
ahead.
we can continue on. All right, he says, okay, then uh I will meet you because you guys would have stored your cart in a stable someplace, I'm assuming.
Mm.
We just kind of ran right by that, but yeah, you guys could have stored the cart in a stable or just, left it
Oh
someplace.
yeah.
He says, then I will purchase a cart. Give me 30 minutes and meet me back at your stables, and we will transfer the 2 dragon eggs. And he looks at you, Rip, and he says, please be extraordinarily careful with your egg.
Ripple will. Ripple take good care of me.
As Rippo
Okay.
drops it almost on the ground and picks it up immediately.
Yeah. But you guys go through the trade. He gets a cart and some blankets and stuff that he can cover, and then transfers the eggs to his position. And he's got some apprentices with him that he charges with making sure they're guarded at all times. Now, here's the interesting part. How are you going to get the egg on the boat? Because you can bring the horses, but the cart's pushing it.
How heavy is the egg again?
About 150 pounds.
Um,
The bag of
I'll carry it
I'm gonna say
onto the ship. I'll just have somebody carry my sword and I'll strap it to my back again.
Okay, well, why don't I? Because this is a dragon egg you're about to carry onto a boat full of people. Maybe somebody smart enough to think about, purchasing a crate to crate it up in.
That would be good. Yeah,
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I'll purchase it.
Okay. Yeah, you can get a crate for it for like a couple of silver.
Okay.
Get it full of hay and padded up and nice
I'm just gonna tip the person a gold.
there you go.
The rest of the gold.
Can it have wheels on the crate so that he can like and like a handle like a rolly backpack?
For gold, yes. For gold, yes, you have a rolling crate.
I have a mini cart.
Yes, very small single person push cart. Good lord. Okay. This is
I will
Anyways.
be part of the caravan. Eh?
You guys hop onto the boat. Once you've gotten your cart settled, they do kind of lash it down in the hold safely. And then they set off down the river. And it's going to be about a 3-day trip. Is anybody doing anything particular during the first day?
I do have one thing that Rippo wants to do while he's, sitting around tending to the egg and riding. I know I could hire a tailor to make a really good version, but Rippo's a barbarian. So while he is sitting there watching his egg, he is going to be sewing those kobold wings into a cloak that when he wears it, it kind of makes him look like he has wings. But as he is not well versed in home economics,
Okay.
they're
And
gonna
you
look-
realize that you have not taken the time to properly preserve these things, right?
Yes, like I said,
You're aware.
Rippo's an idiot.
Okay. Do you have any kind of tool proficiencies that might work for this?
Nope. Like I said, they are going to look atrocious.
Roll me a dexterity check. Just straight dex. Okay. It takes a bit of time, and your fingers are bleeding from numerous pokes with a needle. But you have managed to string them together in such a way that they hang dead and limp from near your shoulder blades.
That
Um,
works. He is
and
now a winged kobold.
it's it's been a couple of days, so they're already kind of starting to smell.
Yeah, I imagine they're not gonna last long, but
Yeah.
it's worth it.
Um, yeah. So people tend to avoid you currently because that's really weird. Anybody else got anything particular they want to do on the boat other than rob it blind?
He knows us so well, guys.
Right.
I mean, I had something.
Hey.
You just fucking ruined it.
While I'm wandering around, like making people give weird looks, it's a perfect distraction.
Yeah, actually, I think that's a good idea. I'm gonna
Well,
follow Rippo around. Like,
you're you're on a merchant boat, and the pickings seem relatively slim for pickpocketing. Because even the captain doesn't really keep a coin pouch at his waist while he's on his ship.
See, these are who you need to be
Uh,
calling
from
for, Dennington.
yeah, from prior experience, there's a pretty good chance that all the valuables are locked up in a chest in the captain's quarter while everybody's aboard to be divvied
but
out.
the captain has to be running the ship, right? So
Yes.
during the day, not around, I might be able to kind of hide, sneaky way up in the quarters.
You might.
Okay, I am going to cast disguise self to make myself look like a tall, pretty hot chick with big boobs.
All right. Well, taller.
Yeah, well, a foot taller, so 4'4".
Yeah. Are we talking like comically large? You should be falling over boobs, or just
I want like Jessica Rabbit style. Like,
okay? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're
Long red
talking
hair.
big, but not anime.
So let me get this straight. Let me get this straight. Now that you guys have gone down the river, you are disguising yourself to look like an individual that had no way to be on the ship.
I had no say in this.
Sussy.
Just making sure I get this.
Just basically, what I'm hoping is I can look pretty enough that if I get caught, then maybe I'll get to
All right.
I'll
all right,
have
no.
a better like maybe
Yeah, 'cause
advantage on the check. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's not exactly a large ship. Counting you guys, there's what, maybe 30 people on this thing. Chances are they know exactly who's supposed to be there.
Okay, maybe I'm gonna not do that.
Okay, just wanted to make sure I had this right in my head.
Okay, I'm gonna have my monkey be a lookout so that if anybody sees me, and then I'm gonna just stealth over and see if the captain's quarters are unlocked. And if they're unlocked, then we'll see.
All right, roll me a stealth check as you're moving around in parts of the ship that you're technically not supposed to be in.
Oh fuck! I rolled a 9.
As you are kind of making your way to the captain's quarters, which are the I don't know parts of ships, but the captain's quarters are above, the crew quarters. But as you're kind of making your way towards the captain's quarters, one of the sailors that would be down in the crew quarters, because they kind of work in shifts, kind of pokes his head up through the hatchway, that tall, skinny ladder that leads down. Kind of pokes his head up and looks in your direction and says, "Can I help you, ma'am?"
Oh, I was just exploring.
Well, we would greatly appreciate it if you would remain, above deck or within the passenger cabins.
Oh, okay. And I'm gonna look really sad and disappointed, and I'm
Yeah.
just gonna go back.
And he watches you all the way back out to on deck. I rolled an 18. You rolled a 9.
Yeah, there was no fucking way I was gonna get away with it.
Yeah.
And I just fully recognize that I am feeling not stealthy today.
All right. Middle of the night, this first night as everybody's. I'm assuming you guys aren't going to worry about posting watches on a boat like this.
Nah, I'm not.
Okay.
Nah. We have
Sure.
tested their security. Their security is good.
Right.
Right.
In the middle of the night, and you guys have a couple of rooms that you're sharing because it's a ship, so space is limited. But in the middle of the night, there is a pounding on the door, wakes you. In just one of the rooms, but you're close enough that it wakes both of you, um, or wakes both sides. You know, everybody. Who would answer the door?
I yell at Repo to answer the door.
Rico is probably sitting in the hold with his shit, like with his egg. Like,
Oh, would you be sleeping down there?
yeah, I would stay there.
Okay, then yeah, this doesn't matter anyways because you're already down there. I assumed you'd just be up there sleeping. Well, in the middle
I'm
of the
gonna hide
night,
behind the bed and have the mage hand go open the door.
yeah. Well, no, if Rippo's down in the hold, they don't have to come wake his ass up.
Ah.
Yeah, in the middle of the night, wee hours of the morning, you're awoken to a scratching and a thumping and kind of a high pitched mewling sound as your crate is moving.
Woo!
Oh,
Rippo
Lord.
will jump up and like pry off the top.
All right, yeah, you pry open the top, and there is a small black dragon wormling in the middle of hatching out of its egg.
Yeah.
And it takes a bit of time for it to fully hatch, and then once it's fully hatched, it lets it's quiet for a moment, but then it starts sniffing around and sniffs up towards you. And since you're the first thing it's seen, and while they are intelligent, it's still
Baby.
still baby, still newborn, and is now um, raising up a nasty racket of screaming and mewling and
Rippo will pull some meat out of his
yeah.
rations and feed him.
Yeah, you now have a black dragon wormling as a pet. This is going to get interesting quickly.
Boy or girl?
Roll an Arcana check.
This is gonna be bad.
I'll help him to give him advantage.
Oh, you're not down there currently. You're
Oh,
still
I'm not?
asleep.
Okay.
Yeah,
But I would argue that Rippo should have advantage at telling the gender of a reptile.
Oh, well, I'll give you
Because
that.
he is
You are a
not-
reptile.
Yeah. You've seen a few red rockets in your day.
Mine every day.
It is female.
Okay.
You have a female black dragon. Ba, 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 ba. That you should have control over. I don't have a token for him, but there's a character sheet with your name on it now.
Okay. I will get picture and token stuff.
Yeah, I just literally dragged him out of the compendium so that it would put a character together. How's your animal handling anyway? Actually, thinking about it, these are intelligent creatures, relatively intelligent creatures, so it may not be animal handling that you have to deal with.
That is perfectly fine because my animal handling is a 0.
Yeah, how's your persuasion?
0.
Oh, this is gonna get. But you have fed it, so you are currently, it eats quite a bit and then kind of curls up and goes to sleep. Though there are a couple of sailors that have come down to check the hold and are quite frightened. So there's not going to be any real hiding this. Yeah. The next morning, the captain does approach you, Rippo. And he kind of looks at your cargo because at this point you can't really leave him alone. Leave her alone. he kind of looks at your cargo and says, "Well, nothing was said about transporting a dragon during this run."
Well, it was an egg, and we didn't know how long it had till it hatched.
Can you ensure that no damage will be done to my ship?
It will not, and if it is, I will pay.
All right. Then the creature is your responsibility, and we will continue with our journey. And he goes back upstairs. There's about 2 days left in the journey, and nothing much exciting is really going to happen on the trip. So, unless you guys would like to do anything in particular, we'll spend a couple of days with Rippo just basically feeding a newborn the whole way.
I want to try to pet it.
Um, uh,
And being
yeah,
that they are, Rippo will introduce her to the party.
I want to
Yeah.
give it like a little bit of meat or something.
yeah.
He gave me a thrash. Went well. I just want to pet it without getting acid splashed.
Yeah, you guys all get a chance to meet the wormling, and it all goes fairly well at this stage, as long as people are cautious and not, it's a child. Think of it like a newborn. He doesn't really get a lot of choice in the matter. Well, think of it like a newborn that when he throws up, it burns.
Yeah.
Ow!
Rippo, I'm gonna need you to keep that thing downstairs. Just saying.
That's okay. You're a coward. You'll be far from it anyways.
That's
Uh,
absolutely true. No, excuse
But,
me. This pour is making my nostrils flare up.
But 2 days goes by relatively uneventful on the river. It seems that this is a well-traveled trade route. And Evan, just to let you know, when you try again the next day, they have posted guards. Because I know you were going to try again.
Look, you party poopers.
Well, you rolled a 9.
Look, goddammit. It's not my fault the dice don't want to behave.
But near the end of the third day, probably about 2 hours left till dusk, you guys arrive at a small little set of ports and warehouses just south of Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate doesn't sit right on the river, but they've got a little outpost down here for river traffic. That way they don't have to go all the way around the
Now Rippo's gonna make a bunch of jokes about being the mother of dragons.
Man, well, they don't. Oh, Jesus! They don't have to go all the way out of the river, go around into the main ports. They've got a little river traffic outpost down here. And you guys unload your cargo and yourselves with your horses, of course. And the captain, while cordial about it, is definitely seems relieved to not have this particular crew on his boat anymore. Making friends everywhere you go. And it'd probably take you about an hour to get into Baldur's Gate from here. You guys have a fucking dragon. Okay.
Dragon. What?
How the fuck you guys gonna get a dragon into Baldur's Gate?
Oh, shit. Yeah, that might be a problem.
Rippo's got some shitty designs. You could probably try to make it look like his offspring. Like,
How big is it?
You-
Like, how
you-
big is Vermont?
I know. Somebody will, of course, have to suggest this to Rippo.
they're
because he
medium
will not think
creatures.
of it on himself.
Okay.
Uh,
So what are we suggesting to Rippo?
that he's polymorphed familiar. Like, I know you're not gonna have him around you, but we have a Wizzy.
Well,
we have a sorcerer. I mean, we have a
Person.
warlock. When we have
being that this is a less serious and more goofy game, I'm inclined to just let it go for sake of continuing with the game.
yeah,
Okay.
we'll come up
Um,
with some stupid excuse. Just tell us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got some stupid excuse,
It's like,
but again, this is not what you would consider the most.
This is our Fred. He was polymorphed. We are on a quest to
yeah.
turn him back.
Yeah.
Yes,
Her back.
I'll,
Yes. Her
and
back.
I'm good at deception, so I can totally help you
Okay.
with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, please do that because
Sorry.
Rippo
Um,
is strong and dexterous and hardy.
But not
He is none of the mental things.
Yeah.
Um,
I will
between me
totally
and
offer
yeah,
to
between me and
do the
Evan, we got the
talking.
deception. Yeah. Or
Yeah,
the intimidation. One of the two. We'll say it was political amnesty or something.
yeah. My intimidation is only +2, but my deception is +6. So
I'm +6 on both, baby.
okay, there we
Okay.
go. The two of us will get it.
as you guys approach the the gates to Baldur's Gate, the guards standing there, the southern entrance to Baldur's Gate, are um, um, kind of step forward to kind of stop you and raise a hand. They don't seem to be upset about anything. It's just one of them's kind of smiling at you guys. And he kind of raises his hand and says, "Ho, travelers, new to Baldur's Gate, and Evan, you're from here, aren't you?"
Right. Yeah. So do I recognize them or anything?
Well, I mean, they're guards. You
Yeah.
would know this already and might have warned the party. I forgot that you were from here. Um, Baldur's Gate does not allow horses or pack animals or wagons. Their streets are very narrow and steep and slick in places, and it causes more trouble than it's worth. So the
But I
guy
know of
says,
like a stable or
yeah, there's plenty of stables right out here outside, and even services that will um, um, bring your stables around to the north if you're just traveling through. If you want to stay for a night, there's services that can move your animals around the city.
Okay.
But yeah, he's his whole oh there, travelers and friends. Uh, if you're new to Baldur's Gate, we cannot let the horses through. It's a bit treacherous, some of the roads. But we can offer stabling, and for a small fee, if you're just traveling through, we can have them brought to the North Gate and ready and waiting for you.
Ticket. I was like, oh yeah, that's good. How much does it cost? Where's the table?
If you're just stabling for the night, it's a silver a horse. If you'd like to travel to the north, it's 2.
What do you guys think? I mean, we're probably
Well,
We're headed-
you're going to be trying to hire out on a northbound at some
right.
point.
So I mean, we kind of need them up north.
Well, 2 silver a horse if you want to keep your horses.
I'm gonna turn to Dennington and be like, "You got this, right?"
Did we lose everybody?
No.
No, I'm here.
Okay. Utter fucking silence from you guys.
I was waiting on his answer.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was kind of zoning out there.
I'm turning to you and trying to stick you with the bill for 2 silvers per horse. Remember that time that I paid for all of us?
Fuck. Sure.
All right, so there's what, 4 of you guys right now, so like 8 silvers, and the horses will be waiting for you in the north.
I would protest, but that's a pittance. So I'm
Yeah.
just gonna get this so we can get this over with. My time is worth more than your stupid money.
And while they do kind of side eye the wormling a little bit, it's not large enough to really be a concern.
Sounds like it needs.
And you guys go through the whole rigmarole of we're trying to find a way to unpolymorph a friend.
Blah blah
It's
blah. You cretin. Blah blah blah.
honestly, it's Baldur's Gate. They've heard weirder shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
I
have.
mean, let's be honest here. It's Baldur's fucking Gate.
You set me up for a fight. They came in here and you're just like, nah.
And I cannot think of Baldur's Gate without picturing the layout from the goddamn game.
Yeah, I know.
I don't care how many maps I've seen. Um, sorry. Now I just want to run around and start looting random chests with crap in it.
Yes. I'm kidding. I'm not.
um, but Evan, you're right at home. You know the best bars, the safest bars, the unsafe bars, the good
Mhm.
marks, and etc.
Safe
You
bars.
know that on both gates on either side, there's a number of warehouses where you can go to meet up with merchants that might be traveling. You know that caravan guards here in Baldur's Gate are hired directly by individual merchants. Um, so you could very well hit the north and kind of see what's going on. Um, Chances are, you guys know the area fairly well. There's a pretty good chance, actually, you guys are about 100% certain that you have beat the cult here. They might have another day or two before they make it. So you got some time to kind of settle in and keep your eyes open, kind of thing.
Is there anyone in particular that we should like warn or talk to let them know that the cult is coming?
No, no,
Uh,
because the map you saw had it moving well north of Baldur's Gate. This is
yeah.
Okay.
definitely not the spot where it ends. Yeah,
I'd like to run. I'd like to cast sense magic just in case, though. Or
since detect magic.
Yeah.
There's what's it gonna go 60 foot? Yeah, as you concentrate on it, there's a few bits and bobs here and there as you move around the city, but none of it seems overly powerful or anything. Just random trinkets that people might have.
Gotcha. Okay.
The Baldur's Gate is very much a Baldur's Gate is kind of a cesspool. Really, it kind of is. Yeah.
I know the rich parts of town though, huh?
Yeah, I'm sure you know all the best parts of town.
I might want to take a trip to a area of town and start looking at some marks.
All right, so you're going to spend a couple of days going back to old habits.
Fuck yeah, I am.
Okay. Um, we'll just kind of just speed things along. We'll just say roll. Oh, what's the best roll here? Just roll me just a general dexterity check.
It's just Evan or
Yeah, as she spends a day or so doing her thing.
I did that twice by accident.
Eh. Um. Well, yeah, we're going with the first roll.
Yeah.
You spend a couple of days trying to or you spend a bit of time trying to kind of case out a few joints, but luck is not with you on these, though you do manage to escape without being caught. Um, but you do come up empty-handed on your excursions. Just using a general dexterity and figuring that as your average over the course.
Yeah.
Um, but give it a couple of days time, and I know you guys are keeping your eyes out and whatnot, just to kind of not get bogged down in this particular city unless somebody's got particular things. Um, though Rippo, roll me a persuasion as you're trying to deal with your dragon.
Okay. Here we
Help him.
Yeah, somebody can. Well, it doesn't fucking matter. He
Oh,
rolls a crit.
Damn.
You're doing very well. Your dragon is fairly well behaved and seems to have taken to you for the most part. Yeah.
That's good.
It may just be anything labeled dragon.
How many times have you rolled a crit on a persuasion in this game?
Quite often.
Freaking hilarious.
Especially considering my charisma's a fucking 10.
All right. But you guys just kind of relax for a couple of days, kind of hang out in the North Ward. Before you start to notice some of the cult members that you might recognize their faces, or you start to kind of see the goods move through the town, because when it's a loaded wagon, they tend to port it through the town. Most merchants will just have their wares ported through town and get more wagons on the north side. But after a couple of days' time, you guys get the word, so to speak, through the grapevine, that there is a large caravan getting ready to go that is currently looking and hiring for guards. So if you guys would like to try to hire on, it looks like from the information you're able to gather, because I'm being nice, it seems that the cultists are going to be joining a normal caravan from Baldur's Gate, so you don't have to hire directly with the cultists, which is probably a good thing.
We join a caravan where we know some of the cultists will be there, so that we can kind of.
You'll be in a caravan with the cultists. You just won't be guarding their wagons.
Good.
It'll be cultists and actual merchants all in one caravan. What I need is everybody to pick a skill as they're trying to be hired, something that you think might be worth hiring, so persuasion or athletics or even deception, and make a roll to determine what you're hired as.
So, as muscle,
Yeah.
what should I roll?
Well, you could do like an athletics or a persuasion.
Okay, I'll do athletics.
Yeah. Okay, go for it.
There you go.
Okay. Let's see. You actually hire on with a merchant who is actually impressed with your athletic skills. His name is Lisfero, and he has actually hired you as a bodyguard, a personal bodyguard. So during the trip, you will earn 10 gold per 10 day, plus food and living expenses on the road.
Nice.
Okay.
Who's up next, and what do they want to roll?
What would sleight of hand be?
Probably not hired by anybody.
Okay,
Hey,
you said deception, so how
I
about
want to be a merchant guard. Here's your bag.
Exactly. Ooh.
Oh.
fuck. I'm bad
Um.
at this.
Well, no. The 10's not bad. You are hired on, we'll say, by the same merchant, but not directly as a bodyguard. He offers you as a basic guard, which is 5 gold per 10 day plus food and living expenses.
All right.
Can I try to talk him up?
Well, that was your negotiation.
Damn it.
All right.
All right, who's next? What do they want to roll? Oh shit.
Hire me. Okay.
How does he keep getting away with that shit?
I don't fucking know.
It's +6, baby.
You hire on. You go in and kind of build yourself up as this badass, and a half elf merchant seems impressed. Uh, his name is Bede, Beyd, and he hires you on as a bodyguard for the same rate that Rippo gained,
Okay,
10 GP per 10 day.
cool.
I think that leaves Gwildor. What you rolling?
How well do they know this path?
Well, this is the tradeways. These guys know it really well. They're going to be
So-
on the road the whole way. It's a well traveled trade path.
Okay, so they wouldn't need a guide or anything like.
No, they're more looking for guards because while it is well traveled, the Sword Coast is a very volatile land.
There is a reason it is the Sword Coast.
Yeah.
Not the
Flower
hug,
Coast.
Not the hug coast.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can, as long as you can, convince me that it's a way to get hired, roll whatever you want to.
Well, I'm gonna try persuasion. And,
See how it goes?
I see how it goes. See if they'll hire me as defense.
Okay, go for it.
Oof.
I didn't think so.
Well, no. That still puts you in the basic guard category. You will travel alongside Dennington with Bade, the half elf merchant, who, while doesn't think you're bodyguard material, thinks you'll do just fine as a guard at the 5 gold per 10 day plus food and living expenses. There are a ridiculous amount of fucking NPCs in this. Like a ridiculous amount. But once you guys are hired, they let you know that they'll be leaving at dawn the next day once everything has been collected and moved onto the wagons, and the caravan has begun. The next day dawns. We're just going to kind of skip through, and you guys all collect your horses, and head towards the. It's a little ways out of town. There's kind of a staging area for caravans and wagons and whatnot. And get there, and there are looking shit up in the wrong places. I was on the wrong page. Uh, shit, lost my place. Let's see. There are 9 wagons in this caravan. Because you guys know what to look for and have actually seen the faces of some of these people because you've been in the camp and whatnot, you can guess that there are 3 wagons that are being driven or led by the cultists, and everything else is various merchants and whatnot. And the trip begins, and this is where it gets crazed. You did hire on. I probably forgot to mention this. You hired on all the way to Waterdeep, which is a 750 miles. So this is about a 2-month journey.
Damn.
Yeah.
Pays pretty good though. I mean, in general. And there's lots of stuff to happen along the way.
Yay.
Let's see. Okay. There's a lot of shit I got to keep track of here, so pardon me for a moment, guys.
You're good.
And just so everyone is aware, I will need to cut out here shortly.
Yeah, it's already 5 anyway, so.
Well, yeah, in that case, that's probably not a bad plan. I mean, I've got everything. I've been reading on this, but there's a shit ton that happens during this trip. Um, yeah, no, I'm not there. There's a shit ton that goes on this trip, so it's not exactly all in my head like it needs to be.
Is that
So,
metric or standard?
what's a shit ton? 4 shit tons make a fuck ton.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. Like basic. Come on, story.
So her name will be Vermithrax.
Vermithrax.
Vermithrax?
Yes.
That sounds
Wow.
like an off, a freaking OTC pill or something.
I know.
Maze guys, May calls anal bleeding.
Maybe like Vermithrax, something that would kill vermin, maybe?
Yeah.
Probably. In fact, that's probably how he came up with the name. Like,
All right.
he came down after like going to the bathroom or something, saw our killer rat,
All
and
right.
was like, yeah.
Here's the thing about the dragon, and here's kind of the way I'm running it, and this is kind of out of character knowledge. Dragons are intelligent beings. Dragons also have the kind of ecology where it does not take them that long after birth to kind of become independent.
Yeah.
These persuasion checks that you keep making are to maintain a friendship.
Oh God.
We're
Yeah.
gonna get killed by a dragon, baby.
Well, that or he may just take off in the middle of the night.
Friends, not food.
Yeah. Yeah, think of it that
Party
way.
members are friends, not food.
Yeah, this is not really, how to train your dragons. This could be serious shit coming up with this.
Yeah.
So, for a while, until he's decided whether he's willing to stick around with you guys or not, you're going to be making these persuasion checks about once a day. While I have put him under your control, you don't really get to tell him what to do. I just don't necessarily have to make all the rolls.
Yeah.
He's not like an animal companion or, not a trained person. This is an individual.
Yeah,
So he will be an
absolutely.
NPC. But we'll see how the roles go and how he's treated in the rest of the party and yeah. So this is an NPC that you guys are carrying around, one that could be very dangerous at some point in time in his life. So
Yep, this is gonna be fun.
I'm just saying this ahead of time. If he tries to eat us, Ripple, I'm sorry, I'm offering you up first.
yeah, well, this isn't quite like the Hellhound and the Dire Wolf that you guys pups that you guys grabbed in the other game, which are while intelligent, still considered animals.
Subservient. Yeah.
Yeah, these
Whereas
are
a dragon is
full,
sentient. Yeah.
yeah, fully sentient, intelligent spell fucking casters at later levels. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, and as it is right now, by himself, he will fuck my world up. Like
Oh
He
yeah,
could.
acid breath, one acid breath is half my life.
Yeah.
And I have the highest life in this party.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Well, I think as a group, you guys could drop him pretty easily,
Yeah, as a
but he's
group,
gonna fuck somebody up while you're at it.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. We might like lose a person.
Yeah. So like I say, while you have control over the character, it's more because I don't want to have to make the rolls all the damn time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I
And as
completely
long
agree
as
with you.
and if you go, he's going to have his own initiative, and if you go to move him in combat or do something in combat that I don't think he would necessarily do, I will veto it.
Sounds good.
Primarily because I don't like the DM NPC. I've never liked that. I don't mind NPCs traveling with you and fighting at your side from time to time as long as it makes sense in the story, but I don't like having a permanent character in the party.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Yeah, it detracts from the players.
All right,
This is your story, not me dragging you along in mine.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and close this stream.